Hello, parents of Calculus BC students. My name is Mr. Ido, and I just want to welcome y'all back to school with a quick video updating you on what's going on in my class and what you'll expect to see from your students this year. A little bit about me. I graduated with a degree in mathematics from LSU. This is my third year teaching BC Calculus at Memorial High School. And a little bit about those 2 years that we've gone through. You can see some of my previous AP scores. In 2018, 2019, I had 100% score 3 or higher. This is considered passing on the AP, and the average was about a 4.5, so almost a 5 there. Last year, with the online change, they had a lot fewer people take the AP exam nationwide, which also dropped my average, but we still ended up with a 96.9% passing. I think we had 2 students who did not pass last year, but for the most part, everybody, or the majority of people, were passing. A little bit about my class in terms of the syllabus. My email is listed on the syllabus. All of your students have one of these, and it's in its learning. My conference period is second period, so if you ever need to schedule a meeting, that would be sometime during second period or before or after school if we need to. The textbook we're using is Stuart James Single Variable Calculus. And these are some supplies if your student is in person. If they're online, I would prefer them to have a spiral composition notebook to be able to keep everything, but it's not necessary. Same with in person. Notebooks I like better, but if they need binders or prefer binders, that's fine as well. The calculator is the TI-84 Plus. This is the one we use. Especially with the online and with the pandemic going on, handing out calculators to students this year, it's not as available. We will have a way to check out calculators soon, but they'd be checking them out for extended periods of time. So ideally, they would have their own for this. For grading this year, we've lowered the percentage for tests, bumped up quizzes, and added a participation grade this year. So it's 60% for tests, 25% for quizzes, 10% for homework, and 5% for participation. I'm trying to get, or I have to have at least 3 tests for each 9 weeks. Some of them will have more, so be prepared for that. I tend to give quizzes weekly. Pop quizzes may be given. I don't give that many, but they will happen. So the students need to be prepared for that as well. Makeup tests and quizzes should be scheduled in advance or via email with me. So they need to be sending me an email about it. If they need to ask in class, that's fine as well. But the email gets it in writing that this is the day we decided on. If you are absent from the day of the review, you will still be expected to take the test on the assigned test date. All my review is posted online. They are free to work it online, so they can check it at any time, as well as solutions, answers, things like that. When you study, we want them studying for the review, unlike the AP test, or studying the review. Unlike the AP test, it's designed to be completed in the amount of time allotted. Unless your student has special accommodations, we don't give extra time on those. Homework is probably the most important part of this class, not because it has the most weight, but because with the way this class works, my homeworks are designed to prepare the students for the AP exam, for my test. So if they're not doing their homework, they're not going to get credit for it, and they're going to do worse on the test and AP exam. I may grade it, I may check for completion. It's important that they do it every day, and the concepts will be better understood if they're doing the homework and practicing. For makeup work, they have as many days as they were absent. With the online stuff, any day they're absent, unless they're heavily hospitalized, all of my classes will still be Zoomed. Just let me know that, hey, or have the student let me know that they're not going to be in class and they're just going to be joining the Zoom, so I know. They shouldn't be missing any content when they're absent. They should be able to stay caught up with everything. For tutorials, I'm here before school at about 6:45, 6:50, and after school I leave at about 4 o'clock. So before and after school are both good times to stop in for tutorials. I have scheduled tutorials for Zooms at those times anyway. 6th period lunch they're available by request. With the pandemic, it's hard to get a lot of people in the classroom for tutorials during lunch, but if you need to stop in for a question, that's completely fine. For the class expectations, I expect the students to come on time and be prepared. If online, they should be in the waiting room for my Zoom by the time the class starts. So it should be ready to join in. If they're not in the class by the time the bell rings, they will be marked tardy. On any problem they work, I expect them to justify all their work. If they don't have work, they won't have any credit. That's something that y'all can keep in mind for when students might come home with a problem or thinking that they didn't get credit where they should. If there's no work, they're not going to get any credit for it. I expect the students to be respectful and courteous to me and the other students. The big thing this comes for is during online. I want them to make sure they're paying attention, make sure they're listening, make sure they're not talking, sending messages, things like that. I can't see them as well, so I can't monitor cell phone use, things like that. But I hope that y'all, as parents, can, if you're at home, can help me monitor that. On top of that, I expect the students, when they're online, they should be in a distraction-free environment. We will be doing some quizzes and tests where they have to do it online, and so when they do those quizzes and tests, they're going to be unmuted. So if we can make sure that they have a space that they can work on those, that'd be perfect for this class. Okay. So what is BC Calculus? BC Calculus covers the same content covered in Level 1 and Level 2 of college calculus. So there are two, usually they have three basic calculuses in college. BC Calculus covers Calc 1 and Calc 2. It is an AP class, so the focus is preparing for the AP test. We're going to be doing a lot of things that focus on preparing for the AP test. And they only get college credit if they pass the AP test. The majority of schools that I know of accept a 3 as passing, and they'll get the credit. Now, one thing that I always have discussions about with parents and students when it comes to the end of the year, when they start looking at college and stuff, there will be colleges that say they want a 4 or 5, and they'll want you to retake the class if you get a 3. Most of the time, if you press, they'll still give you credit. They usually just have policies that say if they got a 3, we just like them to retake it. A 3 by College Board is considered passing. I don't expect many students to get a 3. My average is a 4 to a 5. But if that does happen, let me know. We can try and make sure we figure out whether it is counted as passing or not. But College Board counts as passing. When it comes to the topics covered, comparing it to AB, we add one extra main content that we get to. So AB is limits, derivatives, and integrals. We cover all of that, and then we also add sequences and series. When it comes to the differences between BC and AB, that's the main difference. The content we cover is going to be the same exact content up until February of second semester. That's when we start covering new things. The big difference is the speed at which we go. So we're moving at a pace of about, for every 2 days that AB covers, we cover that in 1 day. So we're moving at a much higher pace in BC. All right, some tips to be successful in my class. First is do all the work given. Even if I say it's optional, even if I say I won't check it for homework, it's still important that the students are doing all the work, and that kind of goes with the last point of practicing. Even when you think you have it down, practice a little bit more to make sure. Come to tutorials and ask questions. Go together as well. Ideally, I get to all the questions in class, but with how fast we have to move, sometimes I can't get to all the questions in class. So coming to tutorials is a good way for students to stay caught up with everything. Make sure they're asking questions, make sure they're coming to tutorials. That's it for me. If you have any questions, please email me. My email is now on the screen. If I want y'all to know that I am so happy with y'all students so far. And I look forward to a great year with them. Thanks. Have a great afternoon.